The people versus Karmelo Anthony. Let's get down to the smoke.
Keep your hands to yourself. That's what needs to be taught here. And to tell this young brother to give up your seat, give me your seat, this ain't no damn Rosa Parks era. You just can't go to a young black man and say, give up your seat. He had a right to sit there. And so that brother had his back of the bus moment and refused to give up his seat, and it cost that young white kid his life.
Oh, sorry. Then Anthony told him, oh, well, now you have to punch me. Punch me and see what happens. What he's trying to do, in my opinion, is escalate this situation to justify what he is already made up in his mind. He has already decided he wants to kill this white boy. That's what he's decided. And now he's armed inside of his backpack. He's escalating it on purpose. He could walk away. No one's keeping him there. And he is purposely escalating it in his mind because he thinks, oh, I'm going to get a free kill here. I'm going to get to take this boy's life, and then I'll go tell the cops it was self-defense.
He told him, don't touch me. You pushed him. He said, all right. When you pushed him, he's still in the lead. He's like, all right, man. But he gave him the first warning. Then he said, yo, if you punch me, watch what happens. Why would you decide to even test it? He already told you to leave me the fuck alone. Second of all, yeah, he could have walked away. But it's fucking pouring rain outside, goddammit. Let's break down the whole scenario. I don't think it's fair here for him to say the kid's a bloodthirsty individual looking for, you know what I mean, a kill. I don't agree with that.
Austin then grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and that's where he stabbed him. Karmelo Anthony deliberately escalated this situation to, in his mind, justify taking this kid's life.
As you can see, the left and the right are spinning this like insane stuff. But I'm here to give you the facts. It's not the plan. All right, in this video, we're going to go over the Austin Metcalf Karmelo Anthony case. Now, we're going to look at the facts, the law, and the possible outcomes. So first, let's start with the facts of the case. Now first, let me introduce you to Karmelo Anthony. He's a 17-year-old and he lives in North Texas. He's an honor student, captain of the football and track teams at his high school there in Texas. Now this is Austin Metcalf. He was an honor student with a 4.0 GPA and a member of the National Honor Society. He's also a linebacker on a football team, voted most valuable player. Now for our facts, we're going to go right to the documents, the official arrest report for Karmelo Anthony. Now, there may be other people saying things outside of this document, but I'm going to pretend they do not exist right now because this document are the facts that police and prosecutors are going to use for this prosecution. Now, I'll set the scene. This is a track meet at a high school, and we have a pop-up rain shower. Karmelo Anthony is looking for refuge from the rain and runs under the tent for the opposing team. And our facts start from there. Now, in the police report, the first witness was interviewed by Officer Wetzel. As the police report says, this witness was sitting under the Memorial High School pop-up tent with his team and was near the victim, Austin, and the suspect, who was later identified as Karmelo Anthony. So this is an eyewitness to the event. So here this eyewitness says Anthony was from Centennial High School and was sitting under the Memorial High School tent. Austin had told Anthony that he needed to move out from under their team's tent, and Anthony grabbed his bag.
So Austin, right there and then, is the aggressor. Oh, you got to get out of this tent. Who the fuck? Who is you, first of all? You know what I'm saying? It just started pouring rain out this motherfucker. His ego told him to he probably does that shit all the time in school, trying to bully motherfuckers. I don't know, but like, why you gonna tell him to move? Nobody else told him to move. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there.
Opened it and reached inside and proceeded to tell Austin, touch me and see what happens. No one really thought Anthony really had any weapons in his bag, and Austin proceeded to touch Anthony, and then Anthony told Austin to punch him and see what happens. A short time later, Austin grabbed Anthony to tell him to move, and Anthony pulled out what blank recalled as a black knife and stabbed Austin once in the chest and then ran away. Okay, so in a nutshell, this witness has just said Anthony was under the wrong tent. Austin, the victim, told him to leave. Anthony then grabbed his bag, opened it, and reached inside. Says, quote, touch me, see what happens. Austin then does it. He touches him, But nothing happens at this time. It says Anthony then gave another warning to Austin to punch him and see what happens. Austin then grabbed Anthony, and that's when Anthony plunged the knife into Austin. Now, here is a second witness to the...
Listen, bro. He gave you the first warning. Your ego told you, fuck it, I'm still going back for more. He should have left that shit alone. Because now at that point, it is self-defense. Because now you're saying that listen, I told you if you touch me, it's on. You touched me. All right, I'm gonna allow you. You punched me, it's on. You punched, you went for the punch. Then you got it. You asked for it. Now, this is going to get sticky in the comment sections, I already know. But in my opinion, he's asking for it. Straight up and down, like 6 o'clock.
Second witness to the event that was interviewed by Officer Fisher. He says when another male who he didn't know, I'm assuming he's talking about Karmelo here, walked over and sat under the tent, then said Austin, the victim, told this male that since he did not go to memorial, he had to leave the tent. Austin and the male went back and forth, and then Austin stood up and pushed the male to get him out of the tent. Now, the witness says during this time of arguing, the male was reaching around in his bag he had. It was at this time the male took out a knife and stabbed Austin, then left the scene. Now, in both of these witness statements, they are claiming that Austin was the initial aggressor and Austin assaulted Anthony before the stabbing.
Austin would not have put his hands on him 2 times and upheated to his warnings, we wouldn't be in this situation right now. That's all I'm saying.
Was warned twice, and the second witness says he heard the first warning. So where does this leave us? Well, again, based on the witness statements, Anthony was being assaulted by Austin, who essentially was trying to remove him from the tent. And now, since Anthony was the one being assaulted, he legally can employ self-defense to repel that attack. As an example, if Anthony slaps Austin, or if Anthony punches Austin in the face, that would be appropriate based on the level of force that's being used against Anthony. But Anthony then pulls out a knife and stabs Austin. So now that moves us to a discussion about self-defense and whether Anthony is going to be successful in his claims of self-defense. And as you saw again from the witness statements in the police report, Austin was warned by Anthony once, maybe twice, to not assault him. And we also know that the level of force being used by Austin was minimal. We're talking about pushing, shoving, but in none of the witness statements does it suggest that Austin, the victim, employed deadly physical force against Anthony before the stabbing. Now, in this particular case,
that's facts. Austin did not employ any deadly physical force towards Anthony. Get what I'm saying? So Anthony pulling out the gun could be seen as excessive. That's a very, very good point. You get what I'm saying? It's like, it could have just been an old-fashioned fight. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be knife or guns or whatever the case might be. I think we got to get back to the old school. We got an argument, man. We go to fisticuffs. You know what I mean? And duke it out. You know what I'm saying?
Case, the perpetrator, Anthony, is going to argue self-defense. Now, the first thing I have to point out is self-defense is what's known as a justification. It's saying, I did it. So Anthony is saying, I did it. I killed him, but I was justified in doing it. Now, based on the preliminary witness statements, it seems appropriate to believe that Anthony could have employed reasonable self-defense against the assault from Austin, the pushing, the shoving, to get out of here, that type of thing. Now, since we're talking about self-defense in Texas, here are the 5 core principles of self-defense in any state and the Texas Penal Code, which references these principles. Now let's go over the 5 principles. Innocence, you can't be the aggressor or provoke the attack. Imminence, the threat must be immediate. It can't be something way in the future. Proportionality, the force must match the threat. Now, when it comes to the principle of avoidance, Texas is a stand your ground state, and there's no duty to retreat if you're lawfully present in a place. And you also have to make sure you're not provoking the conflict. That goes back to innocence. And then last but not least, reasonableness. Your belief for needing to use force must be reasonable under the circumstances. As you see here, Texas law only allows you to use deadly force against deadly force threats. Now, based on the witness statements, it doesn't look like any of these threats were deadly force threats. And Texas law is clear.
They weren't deadly force threats at all. So if we're going through Texas law, Karmelo might be going to prison for the rest of his life. Because it was not deadly force. It's a stand your ground state. Okay? I'm learning every day. It's a stand your ground state. So you ain't got to retreat if you're lawfully supposed to be here. That's cool. But the threat for Karmelo was not deadly. That is facts. We cannot deny that. I don't think any of y'all can deny that in the comment section below. Y'all know I'm not trying to pick sides. I'm trying to stay in the middle and always stay neutral. So they got a point. You know what I mean? Nate got a point, dog. Nate got a point.
Only respond to deadly physical force with deadly physical force. The next issue that the Karmelo family is going to have an issue with is the reasonableness factor of it. Was it reasonable for Karmelo Anthony under that tent to believe that there was a deadly physical force threat present that he had to respond to? Remember, you're at a track meet. There are teachers, coaches, other students. So in that context, do you believe Karmelo Anthony was justified in believing that he was being reasonable in employing deadly physical force?
For this, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for the full video. I'm gonna stop it right there. Let's have this conversation in the comment section below. Is Karmelo Anthony in the right for doing what he did? Is it self-defense? You know what I'm saying? Or is he going to prison for the rest of his life because this is above and beyond what he should have been doing for the situation? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. But I am going to say, unfortunately, 2 lives have been lost for no reason at all. The younger generation needs help. They're crying for help, and something's got to be done. But as always, let me know what country, what state, what province, what street corner, what penthouse you checking in from. Because we worldwide, baby, and it's nothing but love.